Probably a familiar background here. Been here before. I think, I don't know if it was Tom or who it was, but anyway, we're here once again at Blue Water Boxing Club. I like talking to these fighters. They're all different types of personalities going on. And one that's, we were just saying, it's an interesting, as he called it, a weird chapter. Kevin Wyville, thanks so much for giving me your time here, buddy.
Yeah, no, thanks for popping by the club.
Yeah. I appreciate this because we've known each other a long time. So we've probably seen each other kind of go through different chapters. And the last time I had you on the show was in my early stages, actually, and you were Jaden the Jester.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that. But born and raised in Sarnia.
Yep.
Yeah. How was life growing up?
Well, I was a little bugger,
right?
A bugger. My dad was a police officer, and I don't know, maybe I took it for granted a little bit. I used to get in trouble, and I don't know, stupid stuff, but yeah, it was fun at the time, but
yeah, right.
But no, and then I had kids, and yeah.
What did that?
I grew up.
What did that? Did you?
Well, somewhat.
Not that I'm arguing with you, but what? School was fun, and you went through all that stuff, and then you started a business too. Which you still have, right? A roofing business.
Yep.
And what's that called?
Blue Water Roofing.
Yeah. How did you get into roofing?
When I was like 13, I was in grade 8. My brothers did it, and then I came out in the summer, and then I did it, and then through high school, it was just something to pick up money, make some money in the summer vacations, and yeah. And then I went to college. I was in Toronto for a while, and then I moved back.
What did you take at college?
Film and television production.
Oh, yeah.
Or radio and television production.
Okay.
And I was in Toronto. I was in a couple music videos, and then I moved back to Sarnia. Then did the roofing.
Was that an intention, like you wanted to get into film and
radio?
Oh
yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
I like
were
that.
you going to be a Howard Stern, or were you just going to be a calm DJ? I can't see you being a calm DJ.
In movies. I always like movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right before
you've been in some movies.
Yeah. Right before COVID, I got probably the best gig of my life was in a TV show called C. I think it was on HBO with Jason Momoa. I had like a background role. It was union, sweet paychecks, and then COVID came and they shut down production. They were filming it, I think in St. Thomas. They built this huge village. It was crazy, like a whole village just for this one portion of that show.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, and then that shut that down, and then...
and it never came back to life?
I think they just filmed it I don't know, in Hollywood, or they filmed it closer to where they are. They didn't, I don't know, whatever, but...
Yeah. What was that experience like?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was long hours. Like, I don't know, 15, it was long hours, but free food while you're there. I like the food. The catering's awesome, but just a lot. I think anyone in movies and television, like, it's a lot of waiting. You're just waiting all day and night to go out there and film your thing.
Yeah. Which could only be minutes after all that waiting, right?
Well, I was in the crowd. I was like an extra, and I was in this huge crowd.
Oh, okay.
So while the Queen, I haven't seen the show. I skimmed through it to see if I could find me. But the Queen, she does these speeches, and then there's crowds of people. And, well, it's funny, because they'd be like, the A group go out now. And then the A group would go out for that scene, and then they go to the B group. Well, I sneak out in the B group. So if you look closely, you'll see me. She'll turn the corner, and I'll be like, that's me in the blue again. That's me.
You got in there twice, did you?
I did.
Nobody knew.
No, I snuck right in.
That sounds like a Kevin Wyville I know.
No, it was fun. It was super fun stuff. I miss doing that. Yeah. But since COVID stopped, I haven't got back into the...
Right. But the roofing business, that was like you were doing that kind of at the same time?
Yeah.
And you're still doing that?
Yep.
That keeps you busy?
That keeps me busy.
You've built that into a successfully well-known.
Oh, there's some boxers over there. I don't know if you guys want to be interviewed or just keep chirping at me.
We're going to be here for an hour, so
come on in. We can meet Shaden and Xander.
We want to talk about you. We'll get to them another time. But
I'm just kidding. Then they run away.
Then they run away. So how long have you had that business then?
21 years.
Wow. So you say that number out loud. Like,
I know.
you go forever.
I don't like getting old.
No.
But this makes me feel young.
You were a bartender at one time too.
I did do a little Patty Flaherty's, yeah.
I have a picture somewhere. It's you and a clock. That's all we'll say about that. You remember?
Oh, I do remember that picture. That picture still exists. I had fun.
It's probably in a box somewhere.
I had fun at that time.
Yeah. But then, so you've got 2 boys?
2 boys, Noah and Adam. One's 15, one's 17.
Yeah. This chapter that you've come to now, boxing.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing you, because I know, like, your brother Steve's a boxer, and we know a lot of the same mutual folks. And I got to tell you, when I first saw Kevin Wyville is boxing, my first thing was, wow, that's really interesting. I didn't see that picture. But at the same time, knowing you as I have, I also felt like if he's doing this, he's all in.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? Because you just take everything on and you just go.
It's like during a midlife crisis, some people buy a sports car, right? Some people just like to get punched in the face, No, it started during COVID. I built a gym in my garage.
Okay.
And I hung a couple bags. Oh, well, we'll rewind. So my brother Steve, he was a police officer too. He just recently retired. Yep. But he won the Golden Gloves at a later age. He was in his 40s when he won the Golden Gloves.
I know, it was incredible.
My dad won the Golden Gloves back in his day. Mm-hmm. And I did do a little boxing before at River City. They used to Steve boxed through Tim Taylor at River City. And anyway, I did a little bit of training, nothing like this. But when I built the gym in my garage, I hung a couple bags and a speed bag, and then Noah, playing around. I went and got some used gloves, and then one of his friends mentioned joining Blue Water Boxing Club. And I remember this place, especially the Taekwondo, because my kids did the Taekwondo in the basement. Yeah. But so then he joined, and then me and Adam were shortly after, and then it turned from sparring. It turned from holding pads for him and training, and then all of a sudden I watching them spar, and I'm like, I want to get in there. And actually I have a TikTok, K-Wive, and the first time I sparred, I get in there with my son Adam. He's 15 at the time. I'm moving around. Boom! He punches me right in the face. I'm like, oh my God, what the heck? They're padded gloves, but they hurt.
Right.
So I have the video.
You felt it?
Oh, I felt it in my reaction. I turned around, I walked away. I'm like, what the heck? I'm not doing this again. And then the next day you want to try it again, and you get used to it, and the reaction time of getting hit and keeping your composure and going back. It's a weird sport, but it's addictive. You get a lot out of it. You get in shape. It's a fun way to get in shape, and you don't have to fight to box. You don't have to spar. There's lots of people that train without sparring and fighting. Yeah. So you don't have to
I just don't want to get in the ring at all. I'm a wimp. I don't want to take the hit.
Yeah, it's weird. It's different.
Was that your first hit?
Yeah, Noah punched me. Yeah. I haven't been hit since
And did you do you still hold that against him?
We spar. No, it's actually it made me work on my defense more than my offense. So it made me.
Oh yeah.
Okay, no one's hit me in the nose again, and they have. If you look at my nose, see how it comes out here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did get hit again in the nose, but
a few times. Right. You but you really got in shape.
I did get.
You had some poundage on the front there, and you were everything was. I mean, now
I lost 42 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the training's crazy. Even the warm up, the training, I started jogging. I could jog 10 houses before stopping. Now I can do 3 to 5K, and I just got in shape. I don't know.
It's work.
It's work.
Yeah.
It's fun right now. I'm not going to do it forever.
Yeah. But I mean, the word commitment's obviously in there for anybody who's going to get in the ring and have, even an exhibition fight. There's some level of fitness involved in all
Well, an exhibition fight is basically two guys going at it But if one guy falls and gets an 8 count, they'll stop the fight.
Right.
So you want to go in and show your skill and fight, but you don't want to, like, if you got a guy against the ropes,
you don't want to go in and kill him.
Well, and the ref will say ease back. So you got a guy against the ropes and you're doing this, ease back, and then you got to let him recoup. Right. Where a real fight, you're going until the ref stops. He gets an 8 count. He gets 2 8 counts. You win.
Yeah.
So I've had 2 exhibitions and 1 real fight.
Where was your first fight?
My first fight was last summer at a Boomers Novice tournament, and I won silver.
Yeah.
But I messed my eye up, and it was a big blood blister, and it was starting to shut. So they didn't allow me to do the second fight.
Okay. How did that feel though? Like that's your first fight, and you like you took a spot.
Oh, it's scary. It's it's weird. It's scary. It's exciting. I've never felt this adrenaline in my life. You're in that ring and you're just you and another person. It's you and them, and then you don't even see the crowd. You don't see anything. You hear your coach. That's it. You're just looking at them, and it's a weird. And then afterwards, that feeling afterwards, I've never felt that in my life. It's a crazy. Your adrenaline. You're just like I don't know. You feel like a gladiator.
What would you call it? Like a gladiator.
Yeah, like the
victory.
Like gladiator. And then you don't hate your enemy. The first time I fought, I wanted to hate the guy, and I saw him. I'm like, I hate that guy. I'm gonna and then I realized after it's like you just hug and you're just at sportsmanship. A lot of like my son fights. Noah's had like 14 fights. He's became Instagram with friends with some of these kids, and you see the same people at these tournaments. You can't hate your opponent, and you don't hate them. Maybe you're upset you lost or whatever, but you know what? You just keep going, and it's not about winning or losing. It's about just keep fighting. These guys up here, there's all the provincial champions and national champion posters behind us. I know you can't see them, but
I showed it before when I interviewed Tom.
Yeah, some of these people have like 50 fights, right? Win or lose, it don't matter. You just keep going. But like I said, I'm I'll be pushing 50 here, so I'm old.
Yeah, right.
So I'm in what's called a Masters division. It's 40 and up, 3.5-minute rounds with 16-ounce gloves is what I fight at.
What's the goal here for you in this? Like you hear people talk about why am I doing this?
If my kids quit, I'd probably quit that day. Yeah. It's just hanging out with my kids.
Yeah.
Like I'll start. I'm getting all choked up here. We trained together. We fought together. We fought in Turks and Caicos 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Which was a different story there, but
yeah, we'll come to that.
We trained together. We fought together 3 weeks ago in Turks and Caicos. We all fight together this Saturday coming up at a house show in Sarnia, and all 3 of us are entered in the Quebec Cup at the end of the month.
Yeah.
And we're going to Scotland as well. Those 2 are fighting, but I'll be in their corner. But I'm not fighting. But I'm fighting at the Quebec Cup at the end of the month.
So this is is that right? Quebec Cup?
Yeah, but what's that? What was the question? What's the outcome?
Like, why are you doing this?
Oh, it's the kids, hanging out with my kids. And then, it's not just that. Then all of a sudden you start getting good at it. And all of a sudden you're starting to move and you're sparring and you're hitting and then you're not getting hit. And all of a sudden you're like, it's just an addictive feeling. Right? Yep. Yep. And it's skill.
I was going to say, you're learning a new skill.
You can't go in there and say you're a tough guy. I'm a tough guy. I'm fight.
Yeah.
But you need the skill because you'll come in and just do these overhands or something and someone will just pick you apart and move a deke. You get humbled. Boxing can be humbling. I know guys and kids in here that are 15 that could kick almost all my friends' butts. And they're 15, and I'm not kidding. And you've seen them. You've seen these
working out and everything. I've seen them. Yeah.
All different shapes and sizes, but some of these 15 to 17-year-olds are very talented and so you get humbled here.
And there's, and you're not the first one to say that I've interviewed. And there's a family aspect to it. I mean, outside of, Adam and Noah, right? I mean, we just had kids in the background. They were kind of picking on you, smiling. And
absolutely. You're part of a club.
Yeah.
You're part of a club. We train together. Like literally, it's so weird. You're in there giving each other bloody noses. You're punching each other in the head.
I don't get.
Before we go, we'll put some gloves on,
No, we
and
won't.
you could try and punch me in the head, and I'll show you. I can take it, man. But
I'm not worried about hurting you. I'm worried about hurting me.
no, I won't. But we're like you're punching people in the face. You're getting a bloody nose, but you're not angry at that person. You are helping each other get better.
Yeah.
So when you do fight, all that sparring led up to that fight.
There has to be some emotional control in it too, I would think, because like I don't know, like if you hit me, hate me or not, I don't like that. I don't know how I would.
There's definitely control.
Discipline, I guess.
There's discipline, control, and you know what? Some people get, especially when you go to other gyms and spar. So I've been to other gyms, and some of them there's hard sparring where it's not as controlled as sparring your own teammates. This is going to other gyms. So,
and I have
but the thing is,
go ahead.
Well, you can't. If you let your emotions go and start raging, you're going to get tired out.
Yeah.
And the second you get tired out, that other guy's going to use that as his advantage to come in. And
I've seen fights. In fact, I remember a fight. This is going back into the 90s, actually, when I first met Frank the Hammer.
Yeah.
And he was fighting it was the 914 hall at the time, and there was a fella came in. He was new, and they stopped the fight because he just went crazy, like he was street fighting, and he was an angry fighter. And they were just like, I mean, he was killing the other guy, but not in the, like he wasn't boxing.
Right.
He was fighting, right?
Right.
And saw it kind of last year too. There was a couple of fights that I saw, and they were stopping the fight, and it was like, so I mean, as punchy as it is, when you're in the ring, safety is a factor when it comes to being a referee too, I would think.
Yeah. Especially this is amateur boxing, right? So it's also your first 10 fights. They're a little more stricter as far as getting hurt. Like if your head goes back too much, they'll stop it. Where when you're above 10 fights, you're classified as an open fighter. They let a little bit more go. But I don't know. You can get hurt, but it's very rare to get knocked out cold in amateur boxing.
Right.
It does happen. It was at a tournament I saw, but I didn't see that particular fight, but it does happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not as bad as pros without headgear and little tiny 8-ounce or whatever they're wearing. I think they 8-ounce gloves or
with
something.
tape. Yeah, and all that.
But
Sorry, go ahead. You're gonna.
Oh, you said Frank the Hammer and his son Mike White's doing good right now.
I just saw Mike on the way in here to talk to you. Actually, yeah.
Provincial champ, boxing with the national team and stuff. Yeah, he's doing really good.
Who's your coach?
Tom Hennessy.
Yeah.
What's
I mean, when I interviewed him, geez, I probably could have had a 4-hour interview with that guy for all the things he's done, even outside of boxing. But what is it about Tom that you and I'm not making you kiss up here, but what is it about Tom that you like as a coach?
I would say his passion for the sport and his passion for this club. Yeah, that guy's got passion for this. Like he comes in the morning, he comes at night. He's well known and respected throughout because I've been at tournaments and saw other
not
people.
Just in Sarnia.
Like Brampton Cup.
Yep.
Is one of the biggest tournaments. And he's full into this. And he's great with the kids.
Yeah, he is. Even the big kids. What's the one thing that Tom has taught you that sticks out the most for you?
How to fight?
But what piece of that? Because there's a lot of variables going on there.
I don't know. It's not just to fight, it's the discipline and what it takes to do this.
That's probably the biggest thing.
Right? You need dedication and discipline or you need the cardio, you need the skills. I used to fight really down like this. And I still do, but I fight down like this. And I got to stand up more and be taller and not be so down. There's one thing's like he's polished off and just to move, and I don't know.
When you came into the ring, like I think there's something to be said for somebody who's coachable, like being coachable. Like, did you come in thinking that you knew a bunch of stuff? Or
No.
Did you, or anything, or did you just take anything you thought you knew and just go, okay, I'm going to put you over there. Forget about that. Anything maybe your brothers have taught you, and you just came in.
I listened to Tom, and Jay's a coach here, and also the other boxers. There's a lot of people here that have great records and have won tournaments, and you're just absorbing other people. No, but and it's hard because at my age, it's hard to sponge up all this information and try not to be set in the ways, but I didn't know much about it, right?
Yeah.
You watch it on TV and it's really different.
You got your brother and your dad.
But they
never give you advice or said do this.
No, there's a big difference between hitting a bag in a basement and then like sparring. Like you are in a ring and someone's trying to punch you in the face.
Yeah.
You have to know how to move and take it. Not just sit there like this. You got to move. You parry and you're moving.
I wish I think I probably do have a video somewhere of Frank and your brother Steve sparring.
Yeah.
And Steve was taking the hits, and I was just like,
He was a brawler.
No way do I want to get in there. And
those guys were heavier than they were heavies.
They're big guys.
Yeah, big guys.
Yeah. And traveling, I mean, you Turks and Caicos, you were just at. What was that experience like?
I was fortunate to be a part of it. I don't even know how I got it. Well, it's because both my boys were fighting. And right now they have a registered group of fighters, and I just happened to be registered to fight, right? So they brought us down there, and it was the best moment of my life.
Yeah. And then there with your boys too.
That's because of it. We all from the get-go, I wanted to fight on the same card with my kids.
Yeah.
So all three of us, 3 Wyvilles on a card.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be at Brampton Cup, but my guy backed out. So I went there, and then he backed out. So we didn't all 3 of us fight at the last Brampton Cup. But then this came up, and it was crazy. Like the ring, the whole experience. We drove down there. There was a billboard with the poster on it, so we made a billboard.
Really?
I'm like, yeah. It's like we didn't even know. We look over and they're like, we're on a billboard. What? Oh my! What the?
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was crazy. The mayor of the Turks was there. It was emotional.
How so?
So like a month before these fights. So this is a big deal too because Turks wasn't registered with World Boxing. So this was the first time Turks. So now they can actually compete, but they weren't registered. So now they are. So it was a big event. Like they had the mayor and all these sports people there.
It's a big deal.
However, their coach, these kids, and these people were just so nice and great. Well, their coach was out fishing with his son, and the boat tipped. And this is what I heard. I don't mean if I'm not giving justice to this, but there was he emptied the gas tank can and gave it to his son to swim to shore and said, don't look back or something like that. And it was just it was heartbreaking, and I felt so bad, and it was just such a strong story. And he drowned, and the dad drowned, and they had a tribute to the coach. And it was just, so you're standing there, and they did this tribute, and his son came in the ring, and we're just standing there, and it was just, your eyes are tearing up.
You're a dad too, and
I'm a dad, and I see this kid, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I was the first fight, so like 15 minutes later, I had to go fight, and I'm like, oh my God, I just wanted to hug this kid and just everyone, and it was just really moving and sad. And then, but then the night went on, and the fights were great, and there was like pyrotechnics. Like I walk out, and there's like pyrotechnics. I'm like, what the heck? It's like, and it was streamed. You can look it up. Turks and Caicos versus Canada. It's on YouTube. But it was just a unreal event, and yeah, it was crazy.
And now moving forward, you get to go to Scotland at some point.
So the next thing is we're all fighting in Sarnia on Saturday.
Right.
And then Scotland at the end of the month, and then Quebec, the Quebec Cup right after that. So May and the end of last month have just been crazy. Go, 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 go.
So you're in this ring, and then of course, and at some point I'll talk to your boys too as a highlight. But you're not just a dad watching your boys box. You're a boxing dad watching your boys box, and
Yeah.
it'd be a little bit different than if I was just the dad going and cheering them on, right? You know, like, what's it like to watch them?
It's interesting because, you know, how do I answer that? It's so exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm right there, you know, like in Scotland, I'll be right in their corner. And it's just exciting because everything they worked on comes this one moment, right? 3 rounds.
Yeah.
And it's all there, and you're just, and then I'm in the corner with Tom, and then you're so close, and you, and then you're looking for those, and I let Tom call out the calls.
I was going to say, how is that hard for you to be there and not yell out?
Oh, no, I do. Like if I can see something really good, you know, right, left hook.
Yeah.
If it's really good, I'll call it, but I let Tom call it. But yeah, no, there's a couple times you can't help it. You're just like, but you don't say stuff like "get him, hit him."
Yeah, but you want
right. But you're calling it. You're looking for that right hook to the body. If you see the guy up there and you see that opening where Adam doesn't see it, you're right hook to the body, boom, and you're like, yes, It's neat. It's like playing chess with someone else's hands, right? Yeah, it's so exciting.
And at their age, 15 and 17?
15 and 17.
So they're young boys, becoming young. They're kind of like young boys becoming young men. They're kind of right in the middle there, you know, and you get to see this growth in them.
It's amazing. It keeps it, you know, and that's one thing. Boxing is, I do worry about getting hit in the head. Not me. There ain't much.
No, you worry about their safety.
I worry about getting hit in the head and all this stuff. But at the same time, they're not out on the streets causing trouble. They're not partying and drugs and all this. So it's all sports. Sports, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's great
because you can't be out partying and box. You need that. You need your adrenaline. You need your cardio. Right. So
I've seen a couple people try and it just doesn't work out.
You know, oh yeah, well you can go for maybe a beer or two, but I mean party like you know what I mean. You got to be pretty focused, but pretty dedicated for any sport, but for boxing it's intense. It's intense, and to watch them, and Noah's doing so good. They both won gold at Brampton Cup last year, so it was just amazing. Noah's doing fantastic.
Was it him or Adam was at the nationals that we had?
Noah.
And that was an exhibition fight for him?
Yeah, I think he did an exhibition at the nationals.
Yeah.
And he's been to the training camp with the national team. He doesn't fight for the what is it called? A wild card? He may get an opportunity or something, but he's trained with them and just he's all in. He loves it.
Well, and I mean, so we're talking about you having this experience and the excitement that you have from being there. You got a 15 and a 17-year-old boys getting this experience, which for them is probably exciting, but from a different perspective as young fellas, right? And to have that experience at that young age, that you must stand back and look at that and you watch them experiencing.
Love it. I love this. This is like one of the best parts of my life right now.
Yeah.
Which is weird. And I'm in the best shape.
Why is it weird?
Well, just all the stuff I've done in my life. It came to like boxing. Like I was
life-changing.
I've done stage shows. I've done stand-up comedy. I've done all kinds of stuff, creative stuff.
Yeah.
And then now I'm here. This ain't, well, I guess maybe creative with my hands,
suppose,
but this is not.
This wasn't originally on the list.
Doing stand-up comedy and magic shows and stuff like that, you know. So but it's addicting, and there's nothing like the winning is unreal. Like even with the joy of the losing sucks. But when you take it as a sport and congratulate your opponent, however, the winning, when you win that, because you defeated one person and you don't have a team like a sports team, right? Where it was all just you. You couldn't rely on this guy or that guy. It's just you and him. It's kind of medieval. I don't know. But like I said, I won't be doing this I do miss doing my other stuff. I miss performing. I miss doing that stuff. But right now I'm locked in.
Let's, and this is kind of going back in time a little bit. Like I remember, and I remember, you know, you doing some magic stuff. Actually, I think it was that was the last time I interviewed you. We were in your basement, and you were like doing all this magic stuff, and I remember kind of thinking like, this is fun, but I don't know where he's going with this. And then like, you didn't just invest to the learning side of it. You invested a lot of money in magic and stuff like that. And you know, some people might look at that and go like, okay, that's fun. He's having fun. But you actually generated an income from that kind of thing. And then you went from magician to Jaden the Jester was a part of all that.
Yep.
To even being on the Dragon's Den, and didn't you get told off?
Well, no, I wish they played the whole thing, because me and Kevin went back and forth, but they played like a minute of my pitch.
Didn't he say he was gonna do something?
He got mad because I met him at a book signing because he wrote a book.
Right.
And during his book signing, I bought his book and he was signing it. And I go, hey, I wrote a book, the Digward the Dog books. Can I get a picture of you? So I have a picture of Kevin O'Leary holding one of my Digward the Dog books. So fast forward, because like I said, I think Kevin O'Leary came.
I still have those books, by the way.
I think he came here to Sarnia. Anyway, so fast forward, I go on Dragon's Den as Jaden the Jester and to promote these kids' books. And I gave each dragon a copy of my book to look at while I'm doing my pitch. Kevin opens it up and sees himself holding that
you put the picture in there?
Yeah. And he looked at it and goes, you photocopied this? I'm suing. Or photoshopped it. He goes, you photoshopped me in this picture? I'm suing. And I'm like, Photoshop? I did not. That's you. He goes, I did not pose for this. And I go, yeah. And his son was at the book sign. I go, that's your son right beside you. And then I think it all clicked, and he hated that. He
didn't like being wrong.
Yeah, he hated me. He hated me for that.
Yeah. But you went on to, like, you know, and I remember, I still have the I think it's 2 of the books that you gave me. Well, I kept them. And I remember, like, the Kevin Wyville I know, like, some would say, oh, well, he's wild and party and whatever, like, but you really are a focused individual. Like, when you said...
Well, there was a time I was focused on partying.
Yeah, but you were focused. No, but I mean, like, the magic thing, for example.
Right, yeah.
I remember people saying, oh, it's empty, crazy, right? And then, oh, he's going to write a book. Oh, yeah, okay, sure. And dragons, you know, but, like, you don't let any of that get in your head, do you?
No.
Do you just ignore it, or do you use that as a fuel in the fire?
I kind of just did whatever I wanted.
Yeah.
Right? I wanted to write kids' books, I did it. But I wanted to do stand-up comedy, I did it. Yeah. I wanted to do boxing, I just did it. But I realized when you do stuff, you got to put it all in, right? So, no, I just kind of do what I want to do. Yeah. And sometimes you got to make sometimes what you want to do costs money. Like those books, I put a lot into it. But I did, and what I did too with those books was I wanted to get it out. So I'd go to schools and I'd promote them and do this, and I'd go there. And I was traveling all over Southwest Ontario promoting those books, going to bookstores. So I put a lot into it to get the money back out.
You put the sweat equity in.
Yeah. So, and kind of same with this. I put the sweat equity into this to get something out of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you have a class today, Justine?
It's just me and 2 other girls.
When are they coming?
They should be here any minute.
That's fine.
Okay.
Are you guys recording?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just doing a little interview.
Okay. Did you already do it?
We're doing it right now.
We're doing her. Yeah, you're on. That's Justine.
It's okay.
Is it okay if we're in the
Yeah, have fun.
Okay.
Just no music. Is that Justine?
That's Justine.
Oh yeah, that's her. How you doing? I interviewed her years ago.
Oh, you got the interview?
Years ago. She was a young gal. But that, like your focus and where did the magic come from? Like, you woke up one day and said, I want to do magic. I mean, magic is so much fun.
I always liked magic, but when I wrote those kids' books, I wanted to promote them. And I'm like, okay. I went to a couple of schools and I'm like, I read them and then I was like, okay, any questions? And I'm like, I need something else.
Right.
So then I started looking up magic, and then I got addicted. I started going to Abbott's Magic Convention in the States, one of the biggest magic conventions.
Yeah. And it's a lot of work too, magic. It's not just...
Oh, I went all out.
You make it look simple, and a good magician does, but there's a lot of rehearsal.
Yep.
A lot of learning, a lot of skill.
Especially close-up. So
I was going to say.
in my stage show, I did a lot of prop magic. But then I started doing close-up where I was doing adult shows with the close-up stuff. I still love it.
And
I still love it.
I want to guess, I've never done it, but there's two audiences that you were performing for. You just said adults and kids.
Yeah.
My guess would be that the adults are more forgiving than the kids. Like if an adult sees how you did it, they just smile and keep going with it. Does a kid
100%.
point it out? They go, it's right behind your back there.
That's why you just try and get so good you
Right?
don't give them, or you have an out and you.
Is that accurate though?
I
The kid's tougher?
I had tricks that would lure him into saying that.
Oh yeah.
And they'd be like, it's on your back, and then on my back would be something else. So there's tricks to lure them. So and those are the best. Because then you'd be like, no, it's not. No, and you turn back, it's something different, right?
And
so
like, whoa.
that's the kind of magician I was, where I was more
I've seen
goofy, and then I'd reel them in, and then, oh, it's not what you think.
Yeah, I've seen you in action with that. I remember being at a few events, and honestly, I would see you, and I'd go, I got to go over there. I just want to see what you want to see. I mean, who doesn't love magic? We're all kids when it comes to magic.
Oh, I love it. I still love it. I've seen.
Do you have a magician that you looked up to, famous or not?
I like comedy magic, so no, I don't know. That's I'd have to think about that. There's a couple fun ones, but I've seen a lot of like live shows where they're non-famous people, where it was just spectacular. I've seen David Copperfield, Penn and Teller. I've seen all these people, but there's amateur ones that are like will blow your mind. Yeah. But I don't know about favorite.
It must be, what's it like as a magician to watch another magician? Like, do you sit there and go, yeah, I know how that's done?
For the most part, there's all the same concepts, but then when people start switching it, and your presentation for the most part, but no, there's some, like Shin Lim, that guy, there's some really good close-up magic where you're like, dude, that was good. Yeah. And that's what I like. Yeah. You know, when you're doing coin magic and you're doing this and then all of a sudden it's gone, you're like, dude, that was good. And you're sitting right there. So I've also, this campground, the Abbott's Magic Get-Together, that's what it's called.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's huge. I think it's on its 80th year. But I've sat at campgrounds with excellent magicians and just sit there this close, and my mind was blown, going, that is the coolest thing. And I even know the concepts, but yeah, I love it.
And do magicians tell other magicians their secrets? Because that's the number one rule, is a magician never tells.
Not really. It depends.
Yeah.
Like, it depends. If you wanted to learn it to do, or
here.
Right? No, like to buy that trick maybe and go, I need that trick. Where'd you get that? I got to do that. Yeah. Or a certain move. There's moves that you can do. You're like, what was that move? You know, you're flicking, go, oh, come on, teach me that. It depends. Yeah, I was taught a lot.
Yeah. I would think, like cards for the obvious, I think, just their portability make for a good gimmick, right? You know, to learn cards. But card magic is like, there's super skilled folks out there that like can pick up a card and they by weight can tell you what it is. I don't know, like same mechanics.
Same with coins. Coins, when people are having coins
right?
and they're doing that,
there's
you're
always
like,
one around, right?
No, I loved it.
Do you have a favorite kind of magic? Like, I know close-up you said, but like
I like close-up because you're right there, right? Yeah. I like stage stuff, but the close-up, you're like, if you can fool someone that close, this close, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
So,
and it's impressive to the audience member if we're right here and you perform right now and you fool me like Well, I was waiting. Speaking of fool me, you say Penn and Teller. I remember thinking one day, I thought, boy, I wouldn't be shocked at all if Wyville showed up on Fool Us.
I had one thing that I would do. There's one thing that I started creating. It's a twist on something, but I thought about. It's just the one thing. Yeah. Yeah. I got one thing.
How cool would that have been in front of those two guys? I mean, anybody who was on that show, whether they fooled him or not, or just like to perform in front of these two brilliant magicians.
Have you seen them?
They're only on television. I had a chance to see them.
They did a show in Windsor.
Yeah, and my wife normally gets tickets and I couldn't go, and I almost cried because I just, like, I did it when I was a kid, but I mean, I have no interest. I'm the performer side. I'm the entertainer, right? So I love the trick or the illusion, but I love to me the presentation. Even if I do happen to catch, and I've caught Penn and Teller, putting the ball over here or whatever.
Yeah.
And honestly, I've watched it where you can see he put it over there, and I think to myself, I think he wanted me to look there because they're that good.
They're that good.
There's no way he messed that up.
They're
right?
that good.
So no, I haven't. But
Copperfield was cool to see.
The performance, I would have loved to see.
Yeah, his show was neat.
Perform. I mean, I did on television as a kid, right? But that back then there was a little television magic going on as well too.
I think I saw him 10 years ago in Vegas or something, and it was neat. He made a car appear and stuff, but he did this one trick which I really liked. Is there's a pillar right in front of the audience, so you're surrounding this pillar, and inside was a balloon inside of another balloon. Oh. And so it's sitting there, so you see a clear balloon with a little red balloon inside it, whatever color it was. And then he stepped back and does his thing, and then the inside balloon popped, right? Yeah. Not the outside. It's just sitting there, and all of a sudden the inside balloon popped. And I'm like, I love that. That's so simple.
Yeah.
It's so simple, but it's neat, and it's right in front of you. So imagine holding a balloon, and then the inside one pops.
Right.
How the heck did you do that?
Right.
I have some ideas.
That's what keeps you coming back, though, right?
Well, that was neat.
But yeah, the presentation, and he was a very he was a performer. He was a kind of a dancey flair kind of performer, right?
His is high end. He's got an electric robot alien thing. His show is pretty high
I remember as a kid watching him on television and seeing him get cut in half with a giant blade. I mean, this was as a kid, so it was I don't know, 79, 80 when I first saw him, and I had a magic kit and I wanted to do things and stuff, but you congratulations for you doing on that. How was Jaden born?
Actually, that was from a dream. I had a dream when I was in high school that I was a court jester. Yeah, and castles and all this, and then I actually wrote a novel about Jane the Jester. So I released it. It's a published novel.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Return to the Golden Kingdom, I think it's called.
Oh, okay.
And I wrote the second one. I had it edited, but I never released it. And it was the story of this jester and blah, blah, blah. It's neat. Put a lot of time into that. But then when I wrote the kids' books, my dogs, little Jack Russells had puppies. I named them all silly names: Shoebox, Chopper, Digward. And then I wrote these goofy stories. And then I got an artist to put the artwork to them. And then I wrote another book and then another one. And I sold 5,000 of them. So I think I'm considered a best-selling author by Canadian standards. I think if you sell 5,000 books. But then they kind of stalled. Right when COVID hit, everything stopped.
Yeah.
Everything just stopped. The performing, the doing anything, it all stopped.
So what did you do through COVID to keep your creative?
Well, I built the gym. So I started working out, right? Started working out. And then, then the boxing came.
Yeah.
And then the boxing, right when COVID was done, the gyms were opening up, so we got to go to the gyms, and then...
Do you have a list?
Of
checking them off the box? Box?
No, I do want to go back to the magic stuff. I like performing for kids and stuff, and those stage shows were awesome, man. They were so fun. Yeah. And just bringing kids on stage and interacting with the kids was the funniest thing, because you ask them questions, the audience is there, and they're so funny, and you do a little magic.
And you must enjoy the reaction of mom and dad and their
so fun.
Grandparents and whatever, right?
So fun.
Did kids teach you anything out of doing all of that? Did you learn anything?
It was just...
You just never surprised?
It was just fun.
Yeah.
Just fun.
It's that simple.
Innocent fun.
Yeah.
Right? Did I learn anything? I don't know. Just to interact with them. I learned when I was doing my shows, don't make it just about you. Bring those kids up. Bring them up. Let them be a part of the show, because it's like... Remember that show where they'd interview kids and kids say the darndest thing? It's that, right? You give a kid a microphone and ask him, it's hilarious. It's funny. funny.
Recently, actually.
But I miss that.
And they're so honest.
It's funny because, you know,
They're funny and they're not even trying to be funny.
I was on stage doing that, people watching me do that, and now people are I'm on a different kind of
At a
stage.
different stage. Yeah. And then, so like moving, so Magic and Jaden and, but I mean the list of like a, why can't I think? Bucket list. Is there anything like, you know, jumping out of a plane, bungee jump? Is there anything you haven't done yet that's on that list? Or you just don't know what
There's
the
things
list
I want to do again, like just get back into acting.
Yeah, but
I
anything
miss
you haven't
acting.
done yet?
Well, I haven't had a big role, right? Like in a movie or something.
Yeah.
Just get that one good role
Just one time, eh?
where a good one is, right?
Yeah. Do you have a
Like, not
favorite
just a-
actor?
No, I like the classics, Arnold, you know.
Yeah, right.
Just the classics. And I love movies. Like, I love them.
Yeah. And you were in some local movies too, weren't you? Didn't
Yeah,
you play,
Red Ryan.
Yeah,
Red
that's
Ryan.
Right, Red Ryan. You played bad guy, didn't you?
Yeah, I was the getaway driver in
Yeah.
Red Ryan. And that was a good one. And then he's got the other one, the war movie.
Yeah.
I forget what it was called now. Because he changed the title all along the gate.
Oh, okay. How was that though, Red Ryan? Like to participate in, like, we watch the final thing on a screen and we just go, wow. Like I was watching like making a Star Wars and I see this, young Luke Skywalker. Like it was like 12 weeks to shoot this, lightsaber scene with Darth Vader. I need it for 2 minutes.
Yeah,
right?
These were quicker shoots. I think.
Yeah.
I think in a month he made them, or they were quicker.
Yeah.
But
the
we
experience
did 3
of
of them.
understanding how a camera sits.
Oh,
and
I
all
love
that
it.
stuff.
I absolutely love the whole
Would you
thing.
sooner be in front or behind?
I did both. I was a boom mic operator.
okay.
When I wasn't acting, I was doing the boom mic for these. He did like 3 films.
Yeah.
Red Ryan, The Black Donnellys.
Oh, that's the one, right?
Yeah, that one was good. That was cold. We filmed some of those scenes in the
What did you play
in the
in that?
winter. Huh?
What were you in that?
In the lynch mob.
Yeah.
I was like a lynch mob guy. Big beard. My beard was down to there. And then the war movie, I shaved it all off, and that was a cool experience. I
Yeah.
love doing that one. That was super fun.
Yeah.
I had a couple words in there, a couple lines, but that was great.
But what
I'm
about
hoping he
your
does.
own movie? Like, I mean, YouTube's waiting for you, I think.
I know. I do skits and stuff, but right now it's literally training.
Yeah.
Every night
because
for
that
this.
takes time.
I'm doing a lot of training. Like sometimes I was doing 10 sessions a week doing this.
Wow.
Right, and then just to keep my cardio, and I'm also like I'm sparring people 3/4 my age, so I got to keep up.
Right. You got something to prove there, don't you?
Yeah, you
Like,
got to keep up.
yeah.
It's I'm no spring chicken.
Right.
But
Do you? So outside of boxing, though, what do you do for fun?
nothing.
This
Right now, this is it.
This is the fun. Right?
This is it. For the past year, it's full head on. This is
Yeah.
what I do. My diet, my cardio, my jogging, my work.
Best shape of your life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But this is it. I'm full on. This is it.
Well, you're a tamer too. Let me just.
I am a little tamer.
He's a bit of a tamer, and I'll tell you why. I remember, and I remember my wife Jennifer and I seeing this video, and we both looked at each other and went, "Only Wyville, you had a squirrel for a friend,
Yeah, a pet squirrel.
a pet squirrel,
I've had 2 pet squirrels
and
that
just
I found.
tamed them right down,
And a raccoon.
Yeah.
I had the baby raccoon was
How
fun
did you?
too.
I remember going like because we have a squirrel
Joey.
lives around our fence, and I call him Phil, but he still won't.
It's
He
when
looks at me like I'm in his way.
I found a little. It was so small when I found it, and I took him home and put him in a little box and fed him, and then raised him until he was like a squirrel. And it was great. He used to run all over, sharp claws. But then I introduced him to the outside and let him play outside. Then he'd come back inside, and then eventually I
Set him free.
full time. But then he'd come I still think he comes because I keep leaving peanuts, right? So or
Right.
food, so he keeps coming back. But I've done it twice. There was Buddy the squirrel and Joey the squirrel, and then there was a raccoon I did for a bit. But then I had a pet raccoon, but I couldn't get anybody to give him shots. And then I was like, right, if I can't get him vaccines, I would have paid. I would have kept that raccoon. He was so cute. When I was young, we had one. My mom had 2 raccoons.
Yeah.
We had them. So, yeah.
Growing up with your brothers, one was a police officer, another one's an entrepreneur. I think would that be the best way to describe Jeff?
Well, right now, no. Jeff's at the Confed Golf Course or Greystone Golf Course, so it's family thing with him, Julie, and Ray and Louise. But yeah, he's full time at the golf course.
Are you a golfer?
No. I should be. My brother has a golf course, and I don't golf.
Like take advantage of
I got nice brand new golf clubs I've used probably 3 times.
Yeah.
It's hard in the summer. I'm so busy with the roofing and that.
Yeah.
It's a seasonal job. So.
And what about the boys? Like, okay, obviously boxing, but are they career-wise? Are they looking at like going pro with boxing, or are they going to school, or are they what's?
Adam's still in high school. Noah's about to go to Lambton College to be an electrician.
Okay.
If it was his choice, he'd probably live in my basement for the rest of his life and chase his dreams of being a boxer.
Right.
I just want him to get that education, and we can work on doing both. But let's get that education and go from there, just to see. Because the boxing, it's a great opportunity, but...
Well, and who's to say he couldn't, right?
It could, but I don't know. We'll just kind of
I always look at that, people say, like, okay, like education's good, don't get me wrong, I'm not against having education. I'm kind of the guy, though, too, that Eddie Murphy was actually one to say, I never had a plan B, I have a plan A. There's no, sometimes you fall off the track, but it's always plan A. And to be in an environment like this with Tom Hennessy and supportive, and I know their mom is very supportive of them. Seen her at the fights and everything. It gets excited for the boys.
She gets a little nervous.
Yeah,
she gets a little nervous.
She's mom. She's allowed to.
Yeah,
she's making up for you.
She's what?
She's making up for what you're not. Right?
She's well, I was like. Actually, no, I don't get nervous because I train with my boys, right? I spar my boys. We punch each other. I know what it's like to be punched. I know what it's like to box. So I see it. For someone not to see it, a family member not to see, and not just my boys, all the people that are fighting, for a relative not to see the sparring and that, and they just sit there and go, oh my, there go, he's punching him, oh. Right, but when you get it is strange.
But she's there at the fights and she's cheering them on, and that's good.
Yep.
And I think, I don't know if I creep people out when I say this. I watch from afar. I watch people. I remember being people, and I've seen you. I saw you at the Nationals, and I've watched your videos, and I've seen you grow. And I've cheered for it. Oh, that's right on, man. Like, good for you, right? And for whatever reason, all of a sudden we make changes in our life for the better, healthier, whatever. I just think that's awesome, and it goes to show that you're passing, these philosophies, if you will, onto your boys.
Yeah.
That I'm sure, even though Tom's the coach, you give dad advice, do you? As far as their boxing goes?
Do I give them?
You give them dad advice.
Like
he's
time.
coach, but you're
big
dad
time.
advice.
Yeah, big time.
What sort of advice do you give the boys?
Well, that's one thing is that I want them to go to college.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Go to college, get an education, just everything. From cleaning up after yourself when you make breakfast, just everything. Yeah. Right? And the one thing where, like Noah especially, is learning to cook.
Oh yeah.
So he cooks and we eat healthy, and to learn how to wake up and go, hey, I can make myself some steak and eggs and some sweet potato fries. To learn that, I think it's a good skill to learn how to cook.
I never learned. I burned water.
But you know what I mean?
But no, you're right.
I didn't know how to cook when I first moved out on my own. Yeah. Right. So for
it is a skill for sure to have.
Oh yeah, I'm always doing daddy talks.
Yeah. Do they see it coming? They go, here we go. Here's another story.
Oh yeah, they're hilarious. Oh yeah,
Mine does too. It's
yeah, and then they'll punch me in the face if I go to if they get mad at me. I'm not even kidding.
yeah. Well, I got to tell you, this is I've been trying for some time. Boy, you're a tough one to nail down. I know
It's literally because of here. I'm here every night,
Yeah,
so
I
it's
know.
like you had to come get me.
It's like, okay, I'm coming. It's Tuesday work. Yeah, perfect, right on. So thank you so much,
thanks,
my friend.
Dave.
I'm really proud to see you accomplish what you've set out to do, and it's been a story like that I've watched for 10 years anyway. 14 years ago for the show. So that you were one.
14 years. Yeah, that's cool.
And it was in your basement that with all these cool comics and toys and magic he was performing, and a glass of wine might have been involved.
Might have been involved.
But now here you are years later, and you're doing really well. And
Yeah.
just so you know, a lot of people are talking about that, saying, wow, look at Wyville go. So good for you, and congratulations
Thanks.
on your success.
Thanks.
So there you go, Kevin Wyville. We finally nailed him down. He's trying to get me in the race. Not happening, and if we do, I'm not showing it. But you know what I'm going to say. Click the love button and click the share button. It's the most important button. You can click to share Kevin's story and everybody else I have here in the show. But as always, that's all the time I got for you this week. Have a great week and an even better weekend. We'll see you next time right here on the show. Bye for now.